We at SteelCloud understand that CIS compliance is tedious, expensive, and time-consuming. SteelCloud's ConfigOS will change everything you thought you knew about CIS compliance in just 60 seconds by automatically bringing your system into compliance in just a single click, allowing you to easily harden and test around any application stack and accelerating your accreditation timeline. Let's see ConfigOS in action. Here is the home screen for ConfigOS Command Center. We scan, remediate, and even roll back to a known good state, which is useful for managing your baseline. Let's click on an endpoint setup to look at our network tree. Here is what we have in our demo network. As you can see, we have some Windows servers, Linux servers, and some Windows workstations. Here you can see our compliance donut graph. This is a snapshot of the compliance of any selected endpoint. To easily add endpoints to ConfigOS, we have a few options. We can add individual endpoints and groups. We can sweep your network using Ping or Active Directory. We can import CSV files to load endpoints for scanning and remediation. Under the client settings, we can check for the credentials for the account ConfigOS is using, as well as the CIS policy file we are looking to scan and remediate. Now we're ready to start our work. Let's go ahead and scan these endpoints. We simply add them to a job, hit run, and we're off. As you see, ConfigOS is faster than legacy scanning tools. Within just a minute, we have scans completing. And we're done. Okay, we already have software that can scan for CIS compliance, but the magic of ConfigOS is the remediation. Note the scan percentages, as ConfigOS begins to fix all these different operating systems and policies from just one job. The remediation only takes a couple of minutes, including checking for any group policy conflicts on Windows endpoints. Here we see the remediation is complete. Note that most of the percentages are in the mid-90s, which is great for only a couple of minutes of work. We can now see reports for these endpoints. Let's look at the compliance reports for this Windows 10 endpoint. In the reports page, we can see solid green circles on any policy that has been brought into compliance via the remediation run. Let's look at this policy. Here we have the CIS metadata. This control was expecting a value of 3, but found no value. Since we were running a remediation, ConfigOS has changed the value to 3 and brought this control into compliance. Next, let's review one of these red circles with an exclamation point. Many organizations use Windows GPOs to enforce many settings, including those which can affect the CIS controls. This symbol indicates that ConfigOS properly remediated a control, but a Windows GPO then reverted the change to a value which is out of compliance. Issues such as these can then be surfaced and reviewed quickly with our group policy conflict report. Finally, we have controls marked with a solid red circle. These are reporting as failed to remediate, as we currently have these controls set to scan only. We at SteelCloud thank you for watching our solution video on CIS compliance.